So a lot of modern Christianity and evangelism is made up from people who are actually disconnected from source, who are disconnected from the truth of who they are. I don't apologize that if this insults or offends you or anything else. It's my belief, and if you have difficulty, I understand, because I've had to let go of so many limiting beliefs and limiting ideas about what's true, what's possible, what is reality. And that's come through direct experience, actual direct experience, rather than a book or a preacher or some person being my intermediary with the truth. And for some people, it's too big. It's too much, to take ownership and responsibility for one's own experience and your own reality and perception. But this is my invitation, to be truly sovereign, to be truly connected with who you really are, beyond the mind, and sovereign. So, hi, my name is Jody Dean. Welcome to this video. I help you with your spiritual awakening process, embodying your soul purpose and unique, authentic expression of who you really, truly are, unapologetically. So, yes, I really wanted to get into this today because, I've seen a lot basically on Facebook more than anywhere else, but also Instagram, and to a lesser extent on YouTube and other platforms, how people are denouncing spirituality, denouncing yoga, denouncing the spiritual path for a religious path, let's say, that Jesus the Saviour is actually the only one and true Saviour, and everything else is the devil, right? And I want you to know that it's a made-up thing, all of this, that these evangelical Christian religions, they're made up. It's made up. Yes, there was a man, his name was Yeshua, and he did walk the earth about 2,000 years ago. And he did do wonderful things. He was a teacher of truth. He was awakened to the truth, and he walked in the frequency of miracles, which you can do. But everything else that's connected with this is a mishmash of manipulations, later additions, other practices and traditions that have been merged, stolen, if you will, from other practices, religions, traditions, and put into what we call this faith of today. These are just facts. You can, this is all researchable. This is all stuff you can look up for yourself and find out for yourself and do your own research, which I always encourage to do. And I always say, never take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself internally. Do your own internal truth checking, and also outside. Go and do research. And the mainstream ways of researching, let's say Wikipedia and other such things, are also manipulated and controlled. So you really need to be curious about what you really want to know and go find it. And that might actually mean reading a book or two or three or 100 or 1,000 if you're interested in that knowledge. So that's another side to all of this. Anyway, I digress. What I really wanted to get into was that all these denouncings of things like yoga and everything else, and calling them demonic and all those sort of things, it's just basically based on misunderstanding. Yoga means union. Yoga means union. The yoke. It's like the center. right? The egg yolk. It's the center, it's the one. It's the one consciousness, oneness, unity consciousness. We are one. And it's coming to a realization of that everything is one. That's what yoga means. Okay, so now on the other side of things, to say something is demonic is another whole misinterpretation. So the early Christian scholars or scroll transcribers or whoever they were took the word daemon from ancient Greek and ancient Greek culture and used that to describe negative entities. Now daemon actually means a guiding spirit or a lesser deity, a lesser god. Was also said to mean, believed to be the soul of a man from the golden age, as in a human from an age past where there was illumination on the planet, and that soul is still around guiding those people now or in ancient Greece. So like a kind of guardian angel, an ascended soul or something like that, a guardian angel. So very different to this modern idea of what a demon is, right? Which is very much conjured by Hollywood, which is a specific kind of black magic. Hollywood. Definitely not one that I'm keen on, let's say. Now that's a whole other question. I was in the acting industry for a while. I didn't really have any direct experience, but I did also meet other people who had experiences, and not good. Definitely not child friendly. Definitely perhaps something that we might describe as black magic, dark, in a very distasteful way. But again, that's for another video. That is another subject entirely, and it gets into the danger zone of censorship and all that kind of thing. So I'm reluctant to go there. But there is a video you can watch called Out of Shadows, or Out of the Shadows. It was made in 2020, 2019. It was shadow banned. But anyway, that's another story. So daemon is actually a guiding spirit, an illuminated guiding spirit, a guardian spirit or guardian angel that is here guiding others. That was what the name came from, and it got used and usurped and mistranslated, or just kind of taken out of context to describe something dark and bad. Now, that's not to say that there aren't dark entities around. What it is, and so what that whole thing is about dark entities, like everything in this multidimensional infinite universe is interconnected with everything else, and we're all on different levels of consciousness and learning, and life is like a school. This earth is like a school for learning, and it's a growth process. So the great thing is to become more aware, and to learn, and therefore, and to live from the heart ultimately, right? Because the heart being the bridge between sky, spirit, and earth, matter, mother, and live from that place. That will bring the most joy and fulfillment. Trust me. But don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. So there are other, obviously, life forms and dimensions and everything else, and they have their own ideas, their own belief systems, their own agendas. Everything has an agenda. Everyone has an agenda. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a nefarious agenda, but if I go to the shop, the grocery store, and I want to buy tomatoes, and then and I'm in a hurry because I've got friends coming round and I want to make a nice, delicious, juicy salad with fresh tomatoes, organic in my case, and I go to the grocery store and I'm looking for tomatoes and I'm buying those tomatoes, and then someone goes, "Oh, excuse me, could you help me? I need someone to carry this." Now, if I've got time, I'll help, but if I don't, or if it involves something else, or and then there's a queue of people going, "Oh, excuse me, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this?" Whatever else, at some point I'm gonna have to say no, and I'm gonna have to go on my way and put a boundary. Now, is that wrong, putting a boundary up? No. Going home and doing my thing because I've made an agreement with other people, which is in line with my wishes for the day and what I want to create, that I've made this pact to make people food and serve them food in my home, right? Which is a great joy and an excitement for me to do that. But you could say, well, I had an agenda when I went to that shop. I didn't just go there to be of service to everyone. I had an agenda. My agenda was pick up some tomatoes, good organic ones, fresh ones, buy them, and take them to use for my salad. That was my agenda. I'm not going to lie, right? There's nothing wrong or right with it. It's just how it was. And so you could argue, though, that I had an agenda, and that, wow, how, that's so self-serving. Like, there's all these people that needed help in that store and they were asking for help and you couldn't give them to them. And you could say, yeah, that's like, it looks from the outside like I had like an agenda and I was self-serving and everything else, but I was just doing my thing that I needed to do to get where I wanted to go. Right, so there's a subtle distinction here, and I don't know if that's clear, but there's like every life form has an agenda to procreate, to survive, to thrive. And some of these life forms are in the physical and some of them are in the non-physical. And some of them can be allies for us and some of them are not allies for us. But we need to learn discernment, and we need to learn, okay, I put a boundary up with this thing because this is not working for me, because it might be sucking our energy. They might be, right, kind of like a parasitic entity. And these things appear to exist, right? So it's good to be aware. Again, as I said, it's good to be aware and to discern what and who we spend our time with and what we give our energy to and our space to as well. So I choose my friends who I want to invite round. I choose the tomatoes and the ingredients for the food because I'm being aware and I'm discerning what I want to create. And I want to create a nice, lovely, wonderful experience with my friends and a nice lunch or dinner. And everybody's happy, I'm happy, and everyone's happy, and everyone goes home with a full belly and had joyful conversations and perhaps some fun and some improv and some singing. Who knows what could happen? Some deep conversations, some connection, right? So many things could happen at this gathering I have round at my place, having this delicious food. But that was my agenda, right, for that day. And so the question is, what are you giving your time and attention and energy to that may not be serving you? Now, clearly you're watching me, so perhaps this is serving you, but I don't make any claim that this is what you must be doing right now. I'm just offering this humbly and going, okay, this is what I'm talking about today. And within the frame of this kind of like belief system and religion, and also what seems to be going on in some ways with this kind of evangelical stuff, is that there's a kind of savior energy with that, and that's what I wanted to really get to, is this kind of savior energy, because it can be very attractive, especially if you're coming from a place or a religious programming, right, or a place like a family where there is very much that energy in the family, maybe archetypally the martyr, the rescuer energy. And so there's this kind of, I must save this person, or I must get saved, and it's all to do with the other, and it's like taking energy out of self and attention out of self to not look at self, because it's actually ultimately an avoidance behavior. Because we might get strokes, we might get likes, we might get feedback, positive feedback, or feel good about ourselves, right, for helping this person, saving them, as well as being saved and knowing that we are saved, which is subtle spiritual ego, because then that's like, it's I'm superior, I'm one of the chosen people, I'm one of the chosen who's been saved, and I must help others get saved, right? Saviour complex, rescuer complex, attention outside of self, not in self. Now, I am absolutely a fan of selfless service, but selfless service coming from a place of internal fulfillment, overflowing cup, nourished internally, rested internally, balanced internally, and then overflowing. But service coming from some kind of idea that I have to, and it could be a pleasing behavior as well, that's a whole other thing. But from an empty vessel, from when I say empty, I mean undernourished, I mean half empty cup, I mean burnt out, I mean lacking in self-love, I mean self-hatred, I mean low self-worth. So careful that you're doing and you're serving others isn't coming from a need for self-worth or for validation from the other, because only you can really know your own value and your own worth. And the invitation is there from life for you to own your value and own your worth and know who you really are, which, from my perspective, is an individuated aspect of source consciousness, which is infinite light, infinite love, infinite consciousness. It is the oneness itself. So, wanted to share that, and it's totally up to you. I'm not trying to save you, or maybe I am. Maybe I've still got within me some savior complex, rescuer energy, martyr. But I'm interested in you, what archetypes you're dealing with, you're playing with, you're focusing on, and do they serve you? Do they serve you? Does it nourish you? Are you balanced within? Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Are you genuinely fulfilled? So, these are my questions for you. Controversial, I know. I'm not a fan of organized religion, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fan of independent thought. I'm a fan of doing your own research. I'm a fan of checking it out within. Because for me, the truth is in the body, the truth is in your heart, the truth is in your inner knowing. It is the quietest voice, the still, small voice. And you, in your authenticity, in your quirks, in your uniqueness, is. And the more you allow that, the more you're going to radiate, the more you're going to shine, and the more effect and impact you're going to have on others from your radiance, not from a place of lack, not from a place of I must get validation. Look at all these things I've done. Love me. Recognize me. Validate me. Not from that place. That is an intrinsically unhealthy place. But from a place of inner wealth, inner well-being that overflows and that radiates like the sun. From calm, from stability, and ultimately from certainty. But it's a certainty that you must find within you. And as I found myself sharing with a couple of Dutch hitchhikers who I took, who I gave a lift from one village to another in Crete last week on my way to Phaistos, I said, because I mentioned about this sacred site and that the energy was powerful there, and there was a kind of glazed look on their faces, and I said, reality doesn't conform to what we've been conditioned to believe, or words to that effect. I think I said I tend to find that reality is somewhat different to what we've been conditioned to believe, and left it at that. And there was the kind of, the little spark. So that's the invitation, to look yourself valiantly, bravely, courageously, and to live courageously, to live from here, to live from your deepest inner knowing, to get really, really curious about all the stuff that's going on in here and what you've held true and continue to hold true, and perhaps unconsciously. And that's what I help. One of the things I help my clients with and my students with is this work, this deep, deep work of discerning, of taking out and looking at these thoughts, these beliefs, and checking out if they're really true or not. And with the light of awareness of your own consciousness, you get to choose and you get to see what's really true, what's really real. And that, for me, is the greatest liberation, because no one else can tell you. You get to decide, you get to see, you get to choose, and you get to know. And it's just about remembering, ultimately, remembering who you are, who we are. And following on from that, it's also why we are. Why are you here? Why am I here? What's my purpose in life? What is my life purpose? Do I have a unique soul purpose? Etc., etc., etc. Am I living it? Am I fulfilled? Am I genuinely fulfilled? Or have I just sucked up what society or my parents or family or media have put on me, and I've taken it because I didn't have anything else, and I believed they knew better. What do you know? You are your own inner authority. So on that note, I hope I've been able to deliver this in a way that is kind and loving and not too controversial. But hey, we are where we are. So, never mind a book, what they say, a teacher, a priest, an imam, whatever. What do you know inside that is true? What do you know inside? Have a look, check it out. Have a direct experience in this now moment. That's my invitation. Okay, and it can start with breathing as well, just like calming down the nervous system, taking breaths, being in touch with the body, embracing your vessel, your body, your instrument on this planet, inhabiting it. Okay, I think that's enough for today, for this video. Now, if you have anything you want to share about this, great, put it in the comments. I read all the comments, at this juncture at least, and I respond to them. So, and if you liked it, great. If you enjoyed it, great. Please like the video and share it with anyone that you feel might resonate, and subscribe if you haven't already, because that's always a good place to start. Follow, subscribe, so you can keep connected with what I'm sharing, if it resonates. All right, and if you'd like more help with your path and your process and all that stuff, then I encourage you to book a session if you're serious about making a shift, taking life to the next level, and your awakening journey and your soul purpose, your work and your business and your life and your relationships. So click on the link to book, the Calendly link, and yes, you've been wonderful. Thank you for watching. You've been brave for watching. Amazing. Well done, you. Feel free to check around, have a look at my channel and other videos. I've been making quite a lot of videos recently, so do check them out if you feel called, if you feel curious. All right, I also have a podcast. The link will be in the description, as well as a book about something slightly different, which is you'll find if you have a look, but it will make you chuckle for sure. All right, blessings. I've been Jody Dean, and this is the Jody Dean Flow Ninja channel. Take care. Bye for now. See you in the next video. And don't forget to click the notification bell. Ciao for now.